We are here in Damien Hirst's studio looking at an incredible body of new works which he has done for an exhibition and auction at Sothebys. Beautiful inside my head forever.
It's really awe-inspiring just to be seeing so many extraordinary works. I mean, Damien has worked in so many different materials and media. You've got series of paintings from the spot paintings, familiar series from the grid butterfly paintings and also from the fly paintings, but also the most extraordinary new sculptural works, which is of a level of maturity and sort of originality that the market really hasn't seen before. This is a project which Damien has considered for a long period of time. It's something he really considered very carefully as well, because clearly the ambition of this project is extreme, and getting closer to the sale, we feel the quality of the works is going to be quite something. We're standing here in front of the South Rose window from Lincoln Cathedral, which uses obviously for the derivation the stained glass of Lincoln Cathedral. And Damien is really attached. It's a gloss canvas, gloss painting on canvas, attached with the butterfly wings as well, to make out this really fabulous, very dense sort of imagery of the windows, the stained glass, made up of these extraordinary shapes. And I think when you look at it in detail, you can see all the heart shapes and these very floral kind of elements and decorative patterns across the canvas. This is actually 2.43 meters across in diameter. It's very difficult until you stand physically in front of it to actually get a full feel, the physical sort of impression of this, plus this wonderful new kind of Tondo gold frame that Damien's designed to put around these paintings. I think the origins in many ways for these pictures are the early butterfly paintings. You know, Damien actually had butterflies flying around in that space, alighting on particular canvases and then dying. And I think here we're seeing the development of that cycle of imagery in a way where gone are the butterflies themselves as beings, but actually the wings are just attached and they're being put on in decorative ways, and specifically harking back to the very, very typical lyrical sort of source matter. So it's a spectacular painting.
It's actually the first time that we're seeing a spot painting on gold, and gold is a very important theme running through this entire exhibition and auction, Beautiful Inside My Head Forever. And Damien was really exploring working with gold, whether it's solid gold in the case of the golden calf or here with a spot painting. And what's amazing is that it sets off all the different colors, and with a spot painting no color is ever repeated. So you might be looking at a red or a pink, and you look carefully, you won't see that shade or tone again. And they do have a very happy, very joyous feel to them, which is really part of what they're about. But you mustn't forget that they're pharmaceutical paintings, and this one in particular is called orothioglucose, and its title sort of makes a clear reference back to pharmaceuticals, to drugs, the spots that could be pills that all we have become reliant on in our life for, you know, making us feel better, but also having life-threatening qualities to them. The process of making a spot painting is fascinating. So obviously you start with a base color, which normally is white, and then the spots get laid out and they're in exact equal distance to each other, so that the area in between the spots is the same as the diameter of the spot. And in order to really get the luminosity, there are 4 layers of paint on each spot. So that's why you get this wonderful effect of the spot dancing in front of your eyes. The fact paintings are a series of photorealistic paintings that Damien has made based on photographs. And this particular work is based on a photograph that was taken in his studio in Devon. It shows a skull on Damien's armchair with bubbles that were being blown at the time. And Damien just loved that and took a picture of it, kept snapping away actually to get that right shot of the bubbles with the skull. It's a painting called Transience Painting No. 2. And transience because the nature of the bubbles, you know, they're literally here for a moment only, and that moment is to be savoured. And I love the idea of the skull where life has passed, and the bubbles where life is still so fresh but only here for just a moment. It's all about being here today and gone tomorrow.
I was really shocked and happily surprised on seeing this. I mean, I think that it's such a mature work really, and the ambition of working in marble, not just in terms of kind of trying to recreate the smoothness and voluptuousness of this figure, but also some of the really gritty detail of certain parts of the anatomy which the title describes. And I mean, ultimately, I think Damien's titles are also so crucial to his work. I mean, The Anatomy of an Angel, which is the title of this work, is of course so descriptive not just of the scientific exposure that we're seeing of her insides, but could also, it sort of subverts, when you say the anatomy of an angel, you're almost expecting to know about sort of her cherubic qualities or her guardian protection qualities, but actually it's much more literal than that. I mean, it literally is an opportunity to take a ready-made, which this was a late 19th century sculpture that Damien chose, and then subvert it in a really literal way by literally just peeling away the outer layer of skin to expose her bone structure or her the breasts, or even taking away 2 ribs in order to expose a certain part of the anatomy inside. It's easy to kind of base this sculpture in the kind of the development of what he's done previously, but of course he's taking it in a whole new way, which I think is what's so startling about it.
From the moment he showed the physical impossibility of death in the mind of someone living, the famous grey-white shark that he showed in the Charles Saatchi Gallery in 1991, the shark is probably the most important animal or feature in Damien's work that we know and have seen. And what's so special about this work, it is smaller obviously, it's a tiger shark and not a fully grown tiger shark, but it's also a shark that's for the first time you're able to experience in full. The way it's encased in the vitrine allows you to see the entire animal, and that is incredibly appealing. A shark is someone we're all frightened of. We are fascinated by, but are scared. And the idea of encountering a shark in the wild ocean and the free ocean is a scary, scary thought. So to be able to see a shark confronted, a dead shark, a shark who's now enshrined in a box, is fascinating, because we're able to go close, we're able to be fascinated, we're able to be still scared by it, but we have that wonderful power of being the ones that are alive looking at it. The butterfly paintings are very small and very beautiful examples of Damien Hirst's concentric butterfly paintings. Their scale is something that's totally new to Damien's work, and they are of a price point which is very attractive to younger collectors as well. They're priced at 60 to 80,000 pounds each and are just wonderful, wonderful objects. What's also wonderful and lovely is that these works are entitled The Psalms, which are based on the Old Testament, and each work carries on the reverse the specific psalm that they are referring to.
I think that when you stand in front of a work like this, it's very difficult to describe literally just how exciting and heart-stopping this experience really is. This whole sculpture is nearly 4 meters in height and practically about 3 meters 50 wide by the time you include this extraordinary Carrara marble-clad base, and then on top of that, this breathtakingly beautiful tank, which is literally plated in 18-karat gold. And I think just the sheer nobility of the beast, this 18-month-old calf that's been used for this sculpture, which symbolizes everything about the story of Moses going up the mountain and leaving the Israelites behind him, and then in his absence they're making a false idol brought together with the use of a sacrificial calf, together with the jewelry and things which they'd found together. And so it indicates this sort of sense of the idolatry of man to false idols, man's impatience, brazen imagery, but also it draws you in because the beast himself is just, in this case, so incredibly beautiful, as well as the sheer luster of the object. I mean, the gold immediately signifies this great purity. The scale of the whole sculpture, just the sheer ambition, I think also is so typical of what Damien does. But yet again, he's really surprised us. This is definitely the outstanding highlight of the exhibition. And this is a commitment. Damien makes no apology to the fact that these formaldehyde works are tough. These are difficult things to live with. They're difficult things to install. But I think that's the point. This is the whole sense of the majesty of this and the fact that it needs to be displayed and properly looked at and and idolized in many ways, because it is this most extraordinary thing.
Well, this is the first time that an artist has produced a body of work specifically to be sold at auction, and this is a really significant body that Damien has made for the sale at Sothebys. And the works that we're seeing here today will be dismantled very soon to come down to Sothebys for the exhibition, which opens on the 5th of September and will run through to the 14th.
After that, the sales themselves are going to be taking place in the evening on Monday, the 15th of September, and then 2 further sales on Tuesday, the 16th of September. And we'd really urge people to come and have a look at this, because it is really an exhibition as well as a sale. It's going to be quite something.